direct from the beautiful Inland Blue Studios. Honey, this is the Nerdlife Crisis podcast with your host, that fine-ass Chris Thayer, that beautiful Steve Hale, and that big hunker chunk of meat, Ron Milts. Woo! Mama's hot up in here. Let's get this party started.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerdlife Crisis podcast. Here with your host today,
Chris Thayer,
Steve Hale,
and I'm Ron Milts. Hey, we're back again. It's been 3 weeks, guys, but it's time for a new podcast for you there.
A lot of stuff going on. I mean, we got summer movies.
Oh, it's begun.
You know, some of us have
begun.
seen some stuff. Some of us have not seen some stuff. So.
Yeah,
we're incredibly uneven on who's seen what.
So we're gonna have some spoilers, not only for you people today, but for each other.
Right. I kind of feel bad because I'm the only one here that's seen everything, and only because I went last night at like 10:45 to see
like,
Deadpool.
he fucking tells this woman, like, you're gonna fucking take care of these fucking kids, and I'm gonna go fucking see some fucking movies, yo. And you know, it just doesn't fly in my house.
No, that ain't working in my house.
And she's like, shut the fuck up.
You know what
You're
I
a
do?
fucking idiot.
Well, two things. One, we work different hours, so like
Yes.
so I just wait for everyone to fall asleep, and then my happy ass just gets in the car and drive away. So
I actually just call into work.
like I'm gonna be late.
Yeah, I just call into work. I'm sick, and then I just go to the movies. Like sometimes in my work uniform, my wife thought I went to work.
You know, she listens to this, right?
Yeah, yeah. But she sees the bills too.
You're
you
Al
know?
Bundy, dude.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, pretty much. Or like fucking Paul Rudd in
Right.
what was it?
I love you, man.
I Love You,
or-
Man.
No, it was Knocked Up.
Oh, yeah,
Knocked
yeah,
Up,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Before they made This Is 40 or whatever,
Right,
he was
right.
like, you know, I want to go see Spider-Man. You know, she's I like Spider-Man too. Yeah, that's fucking. That can be me and my wife sometimes, dude, with me seeing movies.
No, I did like last night. I did the rotation. Like I jammed out of here at like 9 o'clock, and then I went to the gym for an hour, and then I literally showered at the gym, and then I drove up to the movie theater for my 10:30 showing, and I watched Deadpool.
Ron's that fucking guy walking around the gym fucking naked.
Yep.
Out of the shower.
Yep.
I don't need a towel. It's drip drying.
Dude, towels are for bitches.
Right? Fuck, dude. We're going all man here.
I do this Hungarian style. Like when you're built like a Wookiee, you just fucking shake that dog shit off, and then it's like, and then you're so we got a lot to talk about. So let's get started. Let's talk Solo first. Let's talk
yes.
Let's talk something Chris hasn't seen. So do you need to leave the room because we're about to spoil the shit out of this?
Is there a lot to spoil?
There's at least one part at the end I think that's really spoilerific, but.
You can talk about. Oh, fuck you.
well, I mean, did you stay up on Star Wars Rebels?
no.
Oh, then it's fine.
It doesn't even fucking matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
This
any
isn't
of
like the
animated
major.
stuff.
Like, look, for me, okay. First off, for me, this movie, I'm shocked that it was as good as it was. With all the problems it had.
Yeah.
The script I thought was solid, but it was it was a Star Wars movie that did not feel like a Star Wars movie for the first time. It had all the elements of a Star Wars movie. You're like, look, there's the Millennium Falcon. Look, there's Wookiees and blasters and the Empire. But there were no Jedi. And I didn't feel like, for the first time, I'm like, this is not all galaxy encompassing what's happening right here. It's literally centered on just this very small group of people and what's happening in their moment right now. Thank you, Chris.
Was there any of that in there?
No.
Yeah, I think you have to get rid of that score entirely.
There was some of the original score, but it was like Empire stuff because there was like
Well,
Lando's
there was
theme
really
and-
cool, man. Like, just jumping ahead, Han gets recruited into the Empire.
Yes.
And they're they've got a recruiting station, and it's got a fucking video playing with some propaganda shit. And
That's
guess what the
hilarious.
fucking theme song is?
It was the Imperial March.
It was fucking,
That's
it was
great.
super cool. What I thought was great about the movie initially, what I saw visually was, okay, so we talked about the prequels being really slick and CGI, and everything looks really kind of clean, and you got the Jedi are the protectors of the fucking galaxy, right, and it's a very prosperous age,
Not so much in this.
So you would say, what the fuck happened? You see, A New Hope and Empire and everything's like kind of fucking beaten and battle worn and shit. And this starts to really tie that together. I mean, you've got these industrial planets that are doing nothing but building Star Destroyers.
Right.
There's
And the corruption. I love the corruption.
The absolute corruption of...
Now, when is this? This is...
About 5 years before A New Hope is when this is supposed to take
he had a
place.
rough 5 fucking years then.
He did, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I mean, just like Obi-Wan and his wife and his kids back
Right.
on Tatooine in the cave, he's getting older, and Han is definitely growing up, but he's growing up fast.
Right.
He's even said, he makes a conscious decision. I want to be an outlaw.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to be the bad
He's
guy.
given the choice, and it's basically like, you come with us, and you're this life doesn't go away. Like, you're stuck in this life for the rest of time. And he's just like,
He's young and he's cocky. He's like, yeah, sure, fuck it.
right.
I thought. I'm sorry, he's evading my name recognition. I'm really good at that. The guy who plays Han. He's
look
young. He's cocky, and the whole time
Alden. It's Alden.
it's some sort of
Right.
some sort of goddamn kraut name.
Yeah,
Okay?
definitely.
Yeah.
Like, he felt a lot of fury.
I gotta tell
right
you,
into
man.
this
I was like,
movie.
Harrison, who?
Oh,
That
nice.
fucking name, man. I'm gonna fucking tell you guys, man. His grumpy ass demeanor over the fucking years has really fucking worn that appeal. He is not fucking Han Solo, man. He is not Indiana Jones. He's a fucking grumpy old dude. That's what he is, dude.
Absolutely.
I mean, fucking. So once you've seen enough of that over the years, that coolness that he played in those movies, it's not fucking there for me with him anymore.
Really?
It's just fucking not.
Like,
dude.
you're done, huh?
Yeah, dude. I'm just like, you're fucking. Like, I wouldn't want to be next to you on the fucking plane.
Yeah,
I'd want to be
Well,
next.
definitely not on the plane.
I'd want to be next to fucking. I'd want
if he's flying,
Yeah, no shit. Fucking right. Forgot about that. But you know who I'd love to fucking sit there with fucking Mark Hamill. I'm sure he wouldn't want to, but
Right.
he is like a fucking funny, cool guy. He fucking appreciates the opportunity that Star Wars gave him,
right.
and
And milks it. Did you see the
Yeah.
Big Bang cameo?
Oh,
that he
absolutely,
Did?
at that
he was
season
terrible.
finale.
He was absolutely terrible.
It was funny, though. Dude.
It was funny.
It was what
but
it was
he was
supposed to
definitely
be.
terrible.
But you know what? He's a better actor than people give him credit for.
Absolutely.
And I think, like, with Mark Hamill, I'm with you. It's like stardom. He didn't catch the stardom that Harrison Ford caught.
I mean, I'll say this. Oh, for sure.
But I think that what happened is Harrison Ford, that stardom, like, ruined him at a certain
Right.
Well, I'll give him this thing. He's an awesome actor because he's absolutely not the fucking person he is in real life, dude.
Right.
He's got y'all fooled, man. He is full of shit, and he's a perfect actor. We'll talk about that more on some other fucking things. But fuck, dude. Yeah, I don't dig that. So yeah, I'm seeing the new Han, and I'm going, fuck, dude. I like this kid. He's fucking. I'm okay, cool. I'm in for sure.
And you know what? You know what's great is, to me, he wasn't Han Solo right away. Like, that was I like the fact
Oh,
that,
yeah.
like, he comes into the film and he's not like, you're not like, oh, it's Han Solo. You're like, oh, this guy's supposed to be Han Solo.
Right.
And then about halfway through the movie, he starts to get his swagger, and you're like, this is Han Solo.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you're like, motherfucking right.
Right.
I just watched the Han Solo origin is what
Right.
it was.
Right.
And you see him coming into it. They do a great thing where it's the essentially and this is my only problem with this movie. I felt the first 15 minutes of this was slow. There's a lot of setup. You've got to meet Emilia Clarke's character, Kira. And I feel like all that, like, of the even younger Han Solo, I was like, this kind of feels like a ripoff of the 2009 Star Trek opening, like, where the cops are chasing him and da-da-da-da-da, all the way up until...
a little bit.
It had that feel.
A little bit.
And I was like, it kind of felt like this, but then it was like, once he joins the Empire, I was like, okay, like, Han Solo is a ground troop.
But,
That's
like,
interesting.
Oh shit, dude.
He wasn't a stormtrooper.
No, he was literally like infantry. He got kicked out of
Well,
pilot
they're
school.
called mud troopers.
There you go.
Okay.
So it would be considered Imperial Army, and it really kind of shows you that the stormtroopers actually are the elite.
Right.
Where this guy was like,
Well, he must have sucked then, because
the fucking scene is awesome. I can
Yes.
have a whole movie of fucking galactic World War I, dude.
Right.
Fuck me, I was just
Trench warfare in space.
Yeah, dude,
You're
they're
like,
fucking. You got these transports fucking dropping ATSTs, boom, and fucking there's this, they're like forward, and then boom, boom, that motherfucker's gone. You're like, holy shit, it just got fucking Saving Private Ryan in here, dude.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
was. I mean, it wasn't a long part of the film, but basically, Han meets up with with Woody Harrelson and with Thady. I can never say her name. Thady Newton. Tandy Newton. Tandy. There we go. But Beckett was the Woody Harrelson character, and he's basically like an older Han Solo. Is really what he is. He's a guy that's sort of been around the block, and he's that old smuggler who you can't trust.
Yeah.
And he becomes the partner throughout the film. But Han Solo tries to join up. Han tries to join up with them, and they don't want anything to do with them. So they turn him in to like the captain, and so Han gets thrown in the pit. And they do like this great callback to the Rancor scene from Return of the Jedi, where he's in this pit, and they're like, feed him to the creature. It hasn't eaten for 3 days, and they throw him in the pit, and it's like, roar, and you're like, oh, it's Rancor or something down there,
Yeah.
and it turns out it's Chewbacca.
Just covered in fucking mud.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And
They have like a great fight scene.
this starts to solidify their partnership, which is cool.
And for the first time ever, we see a human speaking Wookiee, which I thought was hilarious. And because Han spoke like broken Wookiee,
Right.
but when he does it, Chewbacca like looks at him. I was like, all right, that's great,
Yeah. Normally I don't like to be spoon-fed backstories, but that was kind of a cool little. Like, how do these motherfuckers come together and be so tight?
That is clever.
So that was pretty fucking cool, So, he helps them break out of there, and he gets them off this fucking planet, and that starts their fucking,
their friendship,
their bromance.
Yeah. But even then, they're not like tight right away. Like they still go through enough stuff where you see them becoming, and that's the nice thing. You see them becoming tight throughout the film, and then. But look, no matter what, my favorite part of this entire movie is Donald Glover. Donald Glover
stole the show, dude.
Things, man.
He is Lando through and
there were a couple of times where his voice fucking channeled Billy D.
Right? He had
I
the
was
cadence.
like, whoa,
You know
that
that
was
wasn't
fucking
an accident.
Billy.
Like,
That
that
was
dude
Billy
studied.
D, man.
He's
that
like,
was good.
he had that cadence down, and then I love how he calls him Han.
Han.
He goes, my
Han.
name's Han. He goes, okay, Han.
I mean, that's really cool. It explains his love of capes.
Dude, they get on the Falcon. On the Falcon, and he's got a room, and it's just full of capes.
Full of capes, man. There's one scene, they're putting out a fire with one of these fucking capes, man. He's like, man, that was custom. That was a custom piece. It's fucking so cool, man. He fucking definitely stole the movie for me. I thought he was great.
Him and his sex bot. So,
here we go with the fucking sex bot.
dude, L3 was great.
L3 was my least favorite fucking part of the fucking movie. I could not fucking stand this fucking I'm with her fucking Bernie Sanders fucking robot, dude.
But it was like perfect because it answered a question that I think a lot of us have always asked, which is like, how sentient are these droids? Because they have to have restraining bolts, right? Why do they have to have a restraining bolt?
I will fucking say this. When she started the liberation,
That was rad.
was pretty cool because she was just like, just get out of my way at first.
Right.
That was okay.
So you need just a little bit of setup for but then the fact that L3, this sort of annoying, over the top like droid with its own personality, became the hyperdrive for the Millennium Falcon. Like it's the computer, it's the 3PO going, I don't know where you destroyed it. It's got a very peculiar dialect.
And it also kind of set you up in the very beginning when they're getting ready to go to hyperspace. And light speed in this one, or which I don't even remember which one it is in Star Wars.
It's the first one, yeah.
Is it hyper?
Yeah,
Or
hyperspace.
light? Who does light? Star Trek?
No, they both do lights. I know light
Warp.
speed.
Who goes to warp?
Warp is Star Trek.
Is Star Trek.
Warp.
Okay.
They call it light speed or hyperspace.
Yeah. So, but she does that like malfunction thing,
Yeah.
and then fucking. I was like, okay, that's kind of clever. But you don't get that until they download her fucking into the
But
Falcon.
then once you realize it, you're like,
oh, okay, that makes
no
sense.
wonder the
now.
Millennium Falcon's so
Right.
fucked up all the time.
Yeah. I thought the leader of the Crimson
Dawn.
was fucking Paul Bettany.
Yeah, he was the Vision.
Vision.
showed up.
He has
Yeah.
had a really good fucking summer.
Absolutely.
He
Well,
has had
here's
a
the
great
crazy thing. That
summer,
dude
man.
was about to give up acting. before he got Jarvis.
Because he was just doing voice crap before, wasn't
Really?
he?
And then they made a comeback.
He literally had decided I'm giving up acting and got the call for that gig.
Well, what was rad about it too was for the first time in a while we saw. I mean, we've always heard about vibroblades and like the EU, and then in Last Jedi we see our first set.
And even the Terra Kasi.
Yeah, that's
that the martial arts has been in the video games and the books.
Forever. And then it's like, and then dude, I mean, there were so many little expanded universe name drops in this.
Oh,
and stuff.
dude, fucking
Aura Singh, they brought her up just like.
Why didn't we just get Bosk?
There you go.
You know?
And were you like, yes? Why
so
didn't we?
You're
get
the one
Bosk?
who killed Aurora Singh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I think the fall is what killed her. I just kind of pushed her. That was fucking cool, man. Those little name drops were great. I thought.
For those of us who liked Rebels and Clone Wars and like the old books, like for Steve and I, the ultra Star Wars geeks, like. That was great.
That was cool.
For Chris, like all that stuff will be lost on you. Like
Right, and that's fine. That's fine.
Now, I will say this: I think the Kessel Run was a little underwhelming after having heard about it all these years.
many
but it was
years
still cool, right?
Well, it's like the Kobayashi Maru,
Right, you're
Where
just
all you did was fucking like reprogram the thing. That was it. That's it.
The Kessel Run, you're like, well, kind of it was more exciting to go through the asteroid field, to be honest with you.
I thought the fucking, I didn't watch a lot of the trailers. Actually, I think I only watched one.
I saw one. That was it.
When the fucking Star Destroyer is coming through the fucking the Maelstrom Gate and all that mist, it looked cool as fuck.
There were some great shots in this.
Yeah.
And then you got your one obligatory TIE fighter sequence.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that like they ripped off the radar dish on the Falcon.
Totally
Right.
explains why the thing looks like a hunk of junk now. I mean, fuck, dude.
Like by the end of the Kessel Run, they literally have ripped all of the exterior off the there's like nothing left.
The cannon
Now,
on
does it
top.
explain, what happens to the front?
Yes, so Lando put on an escape pod.
Oh, and
That
then it's
they
gone.
use it
jettisoned
for something. Yeah.
They jettison it to survive the Kessel Run, essentially. So,
But these fucking haters, as soon as they released that toy,
They
which
were
was
already
out,
bitching.
fucking A, people were gonna hate this no matter what.
I think
no
that's
matter
part
what.
of the problem.
And the fucking problem is, dude, you gotta fucking stop living in fucking 1976 and fucking 82 and 84 or whatever the fuck the years
you were
were.
close.
I mean,
77, 80,
Christ,
83. Yeah,
man.
yeah. But I agree.
mean, these fucking movies, dude, they're just, you know what? They're just fucking not for these people anymore.
No. And
Your
you know
time
what?
has passed, man.
But you know what? It's like either you're on board with the new
Future's
stories-
now, old man.
Well, I mean, I think you gotta. I think it's like if you think about the Marvel movies we're watching right now.
Yeah.
Like there are some people that are legitimately upset about those films too.
Well, I got to tell you, on the fucking, and this is probably the, seriously fucking upsetting to a lot of people. I just watched Black Panther. I fucking hated it.
Really?
I fucking couldn't stand this fucking movie, dude.
Oh wow.
I think this is down there with the first Captain America because I've talked about I didn't like
hey
that.
now, take it easy.
Oh, hey, listen, there were too many fucking laser guns in this, and in fucking Black Panther, dude, I wasn't even on Earth anymore.
Fair enough.
I understand they were technologically advanced. We're not fucking Guardians of the Galaxy here.
Fair enough. I'll
and
give
it
you
was
that.
too goddamn much for me, dude.
Like it was too spacey.
It was way too fucking spacey. I mean, way out there. And I was
Right.
like, okay, I'm fucking not digging this.
I could
dude.
get along with
but
that.
hey, I mean, there were other parts of the movie that I did enjoy.
Yeah.
It was fucking,
Like I love Killmonger in that movie. Like Michael B. Jordan. Like he's fucking legit. Like
Yeah.
he's great.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. There was the only thing that bugged me about that film was I was like, so we have the ability to create basically even more advanced Quinjets, and all this other technology, and like nobody picks up on this at all anywhere. Like, all right, like how far can my suspension of disbelief go with a movie like that?
Yeah, it's like a lot of things. It's like, okay, listen, I understand the dead are walking the earth. That's where it stops. Everything else still fucking applies.
Right.
It's just like it's like the Lord of the Rings movies were so great, and then we got into the Hobbit, and we were fucking breaking like physics.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this, you're fucking just losing me.
Yeah.
It's just too fucking much. Man.
It's like how much
But-
can Legolas hop?
Right.
Right.
On
Right.
rocks that are falling.
Right.
So, not every one of these Star Wars movies are going to be Empire Strikes Back.
No.
The greatest Star Wars movie ever made. Some of them are going to be are going to be pretty good,
and some of them are going to be the Phantom Menace.
Some of them are going to be not so good,
right?
And some of them are going to be fucking outstanding.
Look, I think this movie, it kind of falls right in the middle. Like at the end of the day, I like it more than I like The Force Awakens. I like it more than I liked The Phantom Menace. I think it's infinitely more watchable, but it's not as good as Empire. It's not as good as Rogue One.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Star Wars 77, New Hope, and it's not as good for me as Revenge of the Sith. So it's like, it's a good movie, but it's like right in the middle. Like it's like the Ant-Man of the Star Wars universe.
I like that one.
Yeah,
you're like, it's funny.
It's kind of in the middle for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I enjoyed it. I got done with my 2 hours and I was like, that was 2 hours well spent,
Yeah.
And you get a really bitchin' surprise cameo at the end. So do you want to leave the room now so we can talk about
the
this?
Cameo?
I don't care.
Okay, so Darth Maul shows up at the end as the head of the Crimson Dawn.
Because in the end of the Clone Wars, as you know, they brought Darth Maul back in the Clone Wars. He was still cut in half, but he had this mechanical spider body on some trash planet. He meets up with his brother. He gets some new legs. They start running these crime syndicates. He starts becoming a threat to the Emperor's plans.
That's right.
So the Emperor comes in and fucking regulates.
That's funny.
Kills his fucking brother, Savage Opress, in probably one of the coolest fucking animated lightsaber, probably one of the coolest fucking lightsaber battles ever made.
Right.
Far surpassed anything you've ever seen in the fucking movies and surpassed anything that was done in the cartoons. This was fucking cool, man. If you have not seen it, it's season,
4?
I think it's season 5. End of season 5.
No, it's 4. I'm
Of
pretty
the
sure it's
Clone
4.
Wars.
End of 4, because 5 is because 6 is it was 5 because 7's the last extra season, and then so it would have been the beginning end of 5.
So check it out.
Yeah.
It is fucking awesome, dude. But he spares Maul. But then that's where it fucking ends. And then, he's just like, I still have fucking plans for you.
Right.
And then it ends there. Now we fast forward a little bit to Rebels, where they bring him back in Rebels. Now I haven't seen everything in Rebels. I just know that he's there.
Well, he gets. We follow. Basically, it's after this has happened. So it's like he's fallen from like the head of the crime syndicate apparently, and becomes sort of just a wanderer by the time we see him Rebels.
But
5
in
years
Rebels,
later.
like he's aged,
Yeah.
too. And you could tell in the hologram, because the hologram technology is all over the place in these goddamn movies. It goes from fucking great to shaky in Empire and stuff, and then now it's so beautiful.
So
it's so good.
Here's what I will give you. Maybe what it is, it's like people in their television. Like, come to my house, I have a gorgeous TV, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to like certain people's house and they're still using their analog 32-inch TV.
Good point.
Good
point. Yeah, they still have that fucking
and especially these Imperial Star Destroyers, anything government built, they're going to put the cheapest projector in there they possibly can.
They got the fucking Zenith 1974
Right.
Super Deluxe,
So
it's in the wooden case.
they're like, look, we're not spending money on your hollow projectors. We've got to put in some more turbo lasers. So sorry,
So yeah, they showed Darth Maul, and then like for some reason he had to show his really cool lightsaber.
It's like he's pulling out his Sith dick. That's why.
Yeah,
It's like,
for sure,
right?
And
So-
that's where it ends. So we're gonna see another one, hopefully, or they're gonna tie some more stories into this.
Because they've been saying that this Alden Ehrenreich signed up for 3 movies. Like this was a 3-picture deal. And they basically have already said we're going to do an Obi-Wan movie and we're going to do a Boba Fett movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the possibility is we're going to get like a little mini trilogy with these groupings of characters, like right in the middle here.
Did you see that thing I put on the page about Boba Fett?
Which part?
From the Nerdist people? Where they were ripping on how shitty Boba Fett is, and he's supposed to be like this.
Yeah,
bounty
I've heard this fucking from people before. The
Haters.
This
is some revisionist history, is what this is coming down to.
Is it?
A little bit. I think people.
Everything about Boba Fett in the movies is completely inept.
I just think he looks cool, and he was.
And that's what they said.
He was a cool-looking plot device in Empire.
Hey, he was
Strikes
fucking
Back.
awesome in fucking Empire.
Yeah.
He fucking tracked Han down where all the other bounty hunters went fucking
Exactly.
in the other direction.
Look, I think people, they're trying to read too much. Hey, remember we were like, hey, mute your phone?
I did.
Okay. So I think it's one of those things where it's like it's like anything with these Star Wars fans. They read too much into everything. Everything makes them unbelievably butthurt. And I mean, look what happened to like poor Kelly Tran here in just the last couple weeks.
I mean,
you know?
I haven't read what was said. I hear that she has since deleted her Instagram account. But what the fuck is wrong with you fucking people?
Like, she's just an actor in a film, you know? And it's like, first off, she didn't write the script. Like, why are people out there harassing her, you know?
I don't understand what there is to be said. Like, what could they possibly complain about? She was dope.
They just don't like her character.
Well,
like,
just
what's not
listen.
to like? She
but
was
it's
cool.
like I don't understand where this fucking comes from with people. Where it's like, I don't like the character, or I didn't like the movie. You know what I feel the fucking need to do?
harass a real person.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, Chris, you fucking did enough to fucking Jake Lloyd.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, let's fucking be fucking real here, dude. Fucking the fandom destroyed this kid.
They're cruel to him.
Fucking destroyed him,
Yeah.
dude.
I
Set
wish they
him
had done
down
that with
a fucking-
Hayden Christensen instead.
They did.
There's another one. His fucking career is done.
He did a few more films where
What
he
he
got
did
some
fucking
play.
Jumper, and I think that was the last fucking movie he made, dude.
Well, he made that Chinese film where it was him and was it Nick Cage or something like that? Like
He
that's
did a few things. I think his problem was he just isn't very good.
I would disagree because he has movies.
But
that
you
are
know
good,
what? I
so.
bet you he could fucking sit here. I bet if he came in this fucking room right now, sat right down, he could fucking sit and tell the same fucking stories that this Kelly Tran could fucking say.
Absolutely.
And same with fucking Jake Lloyd and shit, dude. Fucking destroyed. And these people were fucking destroyed before the fucking social media wave that we have today.
Right.
It's fucking, these people are nuts. If you listen to our show and you do this,
Like, don't listen.
I don't want you to listen to our
No,
fucking show, dude.
absolutely
There's
not.
something fucking wrong with you. You need fucking help.
Well, don't you feel like it's like, I mean, getting into like a deeper sort of concept of what's happening in the world today, it's like people feel like there's anonymity like on the internet.
Oh, you know what? But you know what these people are too? They're all a bunch of fucking do-nothing fucking losers. They've never... No, I'm fucking
I agree.
serious.
I agree.
They've never done anything in their fucking life. They've never produced anything. They've never built anything. They've never created anything. You are a fucking loser, okay? And you have to fucking trash other people's crap because you have fucking nothing going on in your life other than fucking doing crap like this. This is crazy,
It's like
man.
critics ripping on films when they fucking aren't making movies. Like, it's great you watch a lot of movies, but what the fuck makes you qualified to go and rip on all these films? Because you watched a lot of movies and went to some school?
Well, you know what? Listen, I don't
know.
mind if they fucking... Listen, being a critic is one thing. Going and personally attacking somebody on this kind of a level is
Agreed.
crazy fucking different.
Right.
It's one thing to say, listen, man, you fucking... Ron could attest to this. Actors are fucking fucked up people, dude.
Absolutely.
Okay? They've got fucking deep-rooted fucking problems. They are always pretending to be somebody that they're fucking not. They always have to be fucking goddamn nice to everybody because they are trying to get that fucking next gig.
Yeah.
Right? They're always trying to please. They're always... And you go in and you fucking attack these people like this is crazy,
And
man.
I think like I think people like they have a misconception of what it means to be a performer like that. And they already look. It ain't digging ditches. Don't get me wrong.
Right. No, I'm just fucking...
Like it ain't.
I'm a little passionate in what I think
No,
actors
absolutely,
are.
but it's a much harder life than people understand.
Oh, yeah,
you know, and somebody
for
like
sure.
Kelly Tran, like look at her IMDb, like she ain't got shit on there before Star
Right,
Wars.
right,
No.
right.
Like this was her big break, you know, and it's like, and I'll even give you Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill, like here was a guy that had the whole world in front of him, you know, in his early 20s.
Yeah.
And basically it never got better than that moment, you
Right,
know?
right.
And it's like, I think too many people, you know, they get this moment and then they're struggling the rest of their lives to reclaim that moment.
Yeah.
And whether that means, you know, like losing everything if they're, or they're Carrie Fisher, where they lose everything to, you know, to the side effects, as it were, of this world, which is the drugs and alcohol,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and the partying that comes along with this fame. I think it sucks, and I think it's bullshit, and I think that, anybody that would do this, they're bullies. It's a bully mentality, and it's like this. You basically like, I'm free on the internet to be an asshole because there's no repercussions, But it'll be a cold day in hell before you walked up and say it to somebody's face like that.
Oh yeah, trust me, I have that all the fucking time.
Or they're the same, people that like are assholes like this. Online or on the podcast, Chris. And if
I'm waiting to see where you're going with this.
If Hayden Christensen was sitting in the room with us, Chris would be like nothing but flowers and niceness.
No, I would not. I would not. You know that's not true.
You'd be like, Hayden, I loved you in episode 3.
Oh, fuck you.
You underestimate my powers was like my favorite line.
Now, if he was going to buy our book, that's different. I loved you in that third movie.
I mean, hey, listen, don't get me wrong out there, listeners. Criticizing a movie or criticizing somebody's acting skills on a form of this is what we do as a job is one thing. Going and taking the time out of your day to send this person a message or to make a comment derogatory on like one of their fucking pictures, you know what, dude? That's fucking classless. And it's just crap, dude.
Well, and
it really is.
But there's also like, there's an actual backlash, because she's not white. Like that's one of the other things. Like there's a
She's not?
No, she's definitely not.
Really?
Her last name's Tran. I don't know if you.
Oh.
Yeah, like I don't see color. It's I know you're joking. Anyways.
What?
But no, I mean, there's a group of people that are going after her because of that. There's another group of people that are going after her because, she's ruining their Star Wars. And then there's another group of people.
I love it when people are like, when they go after an Asian person, like, you guys are so successful and you get such great grades and you make a lot of money. Fuck you. What? Okay.
You're like, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. That's a nice compliment. So, but yeah, I mean, look.
I don't understand where the hate's coming from. Like, I don't know what there was to criticize. I thought she was fine.
She was fine, but her storyline was not solid. She was not a great character. Like, as far as the movie goes, like, Rose was the least of the main 7, I guess you'd put it.
I wouldn't even call her one of the main 7.
She's been situated to be that. She was like the Lando of this movie. So,
I guess.
Like, she shows up and she's part of the crew now for episode 9. So, like, she will definitely be one of your main people in episode 9. So,
yeah, I mean,
I just don't understand the hate.
Like, I wasn't a big fan of what everybody considers her memorable line. I thought that was like, hippie crap, but that's just me. I like fucking Princess Leia. She's like, shoot them motherfuckers.
Well,
You know what I mean? Boom, boom.
But you gotta have...
Where her mom was like, hey, well, let's negotiate. And Leia was like, fucking pow, 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 pow.
Right.
Hey, in a world of fucking Kim Kardashians, I want you to fucking be Sarah Connor.
There you go.
Okay? So,
but I think in
I thought she was fine.
True to form, there's all kinds. It's like you get Amidala or Princess Amidala, who's like, let's negotiate, like let's have some conversations.
Why is she Mr. Mackey?
She's like, hey y'all, okay, because that's what I felt like.
Okay, just how democracy dies. Okay,
like I know you're a Sith Lord, but okay,
I will not sit here while my people die, Senator. I don't know.
No, she's like, our people are dying.
There you go. That's a good one.
That's so stupid, the accent. That put on accent. Just another reason to hate those movies.
All right, well, let's get out of this. We got to talk real quick. Before we get into Deadpool, Chris and I have a quick story. So we did Palm Springs. What was it?
It was the Mayhem.
Yeah, so Palm Springs Comic-Con which is a fine Comic-Con for Comic-Con sakes.
Right.
It was they did like a little one-day event down at
they're calling it their warm-up.
Sure.
To their major event that is less than than every other con. It's like
right.
Even Long Beach was bigger than the Palm Springs, and not knocking Palm Springs, but it's like, come on, did you really need a warm up day?
I don't know that we needed a warm up day for this.
For that little show.
So they did it at Agua Caliente. So a couple of notes, Steve. So we have no idea. They've sent us no booth assignment.
We have no idea where we are.
So we literally walk in the door, and it was like, do you remember the Comic-Con from Chasey Gamey?
Yeah.
It was like that.
Yeah.
But small.
Oh man. Oh.
So I looked at Chris and I was like, they put us.
Well, even before that, I walk in to see if I can find out where we are. I took 2 steps inside. I went, fuck. Like, God damn it.
Like, and
what did I get us into?
We're going to New York Comic Con in like a couple months from now. Like,
Right.
where we're already like stressing about this, that, and the other. And I go, okay, dude. So, and he goes, oh, we ain't got to hurry. And I'm all really.
I'm like, actually, you could go home if you want.
I was like, we walked in and it was like, the whole thing couldn't have been bigger than like the room we were in. Couldn't have been bigger than like my den and my other room combined.
Fuck! I would have killed Chris.
Well, no. It ended up.
Here's
being,
the thing.
It ended up being fine because there was just not a lot there. So people are like, "Oh, you're one of like 4 comic books here, so I guess we'll buy your comic book." You know.
Exactly. Big fish.
Like, we made
or
our money.
only fish in the
Yeah.
pond.
But my favorite part was they had like it was a couple of meeting rooms worth of stuff. So it was
Okay.
like this hallway, and it's like that's fine. And Robert Englund was there. Oh, and I got to meet come on, brain, the guy that plays what the hell's his name?
So Robert Englund was there, huh?
Robert Englund was there, and a lot of people were there to meet him. $80 for Robert Englund.
Well, yeah, he was at Monster Palooza, fucking 2017, and he had a huge, line of people.
well, there were a lot of.
But you
Freddys.
can tell, like, since then he's on the circuit because I've seen his name popping up quite often.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is
So
cashing
he was
in.
like, "Whoa!"
And
I
then-
made a lot of money there.
And then Matt Ryan, Constantine was there, and
Okay.
I ran into him on the way out when I was leaving to go to the wedding. I was going to a gay Jewish wedding that day.
In
So-
Palm Springs?
No, what could have been.
I was
no.
gonna say that.
I had to
sounds
drive
about
to
right.
Los Angeles, so it was like, I could have died from dysentery
Down
on
in
the
the
way.
Wilshire district?
No, it was on the north end, dude. It was like Magic Mountain end of LA.
Oh, Jesus
Long ass drive.
Yeah. Oh my
but
God.
but anyways, so they had a like a Hall H type thing set up. You know, they had their room. It was like, but it was outside.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And it was windy as
It
hell.
was not just windy, Steve. I'm from the desert originally, and when it blows, it fucking blows hard.
Yeah.
And I literally tried to get out of my car when we first got there, and I opened the door, and the wind slammed me back into the car. It was blowing so hard, and these assholes had all of their panels outside in this wind.
Oh, fucking amateur hour.
It was.
That's really what it was. I think they just didn't know quite what they were doing, and yeah, it was. But I mean, it was a happy ending for us.
It was neat. The guys next to us were from Yucca Valley, where I'm originally from, and they own a pizza shop, and they branded the guy their mascot for their pizza shop and made a comic book of him. And they were like, "It's Pizza Guy."
Hey, look what I got, Pizza Guy.
It was
Captain Slice. Or
Captain
something.
Slice or some shit like
fuck.
that. And it was like, "Hey, it's an all ages book," and I was like, "Dude, rad! Like, more power to you."
Right.
And then the
Well,
guys,
it's brilliant marketing because you're already selling the pizzas,
Right, so-
and as they're leaving, sell them a fucking book.
there you go. And then across from us, this guy, it was a black guy, and he had his obviously black comic book there. And
No.
but I think it was like his first con too.
Right.
And he had like a 52-inch television showing shit. And I'm like, I looked at Chris, I was like, that's a beautiful setup, but like, I ain't lugging that shit around.
Like
Right,
all 8
right.
people that are gonna see it.
Yeah,
today
like, good
are-
on you, brother. Like, have fun with that, you
Yeah.
know? And then, of course, there was the pop guy with all his fucking pops there.
Yeah.
And then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cosplay group had their own booth.
Right.
It was...
But the original Turtles. Not
Yes,
the
it was
new
like
Turtles.
the late 80s Turtles cosplay group.
The
Go
cartoon?
Ninja, go Ninja,
Oh,
go.
kill me. I'm so fucking glad I don't go to this shit with you guys. I'd be like,
I will tell you, Steve.
I'd be like, listen, I'm fucking out.
I tried to get
bounce,
Ron to go
man.
out. You're off the hook, dude. You can go home.
I was like, dude, I drove out to Palm Springs. I'm just.
I'd be
gonna-
like, you know what? I'm gonna go fucking find a bar and fucking let gay guys buy me drinks. All right, I'm fucking out of here.
I'm gonna bear this shit up.
Yeah,
Brad.
big time.
But you know what? There was kind of a cool part of the whole thing is my daughter, who's 12 now. She's an artist. We've talked about her, I think, a few times. And she's really progressed. So I dropped a bunch of money on her, you know, getting her a bunch of prints and a backdrop, and we did a little display. And she freaking cleaned up, dude.
Oh,
like
good for
she
her.
sold a bunch of stuff. And at first it was kind of like my mom and her, sister showed up and they
Yeah.
bought a couple things.
Right.
And I was like, oh, thank God somebody bought something. Because that would have been really, shitty. She goes
Yeah.
and spends the whole day and doesn't sell
Yeah.
anything. But then people like genuinely started like looking at her stuff, and people were like, "Wow, you did these!" And then the kid factor kicked in. And so
Like she's 12 and she did all this. And they're like, "That's great. Can I get you to sign it?" And
right,
da-da-da-da-da.
right. So for her, it was an awesome experience. For us, we're like, we were in Seattle a couple months ago, and
Like,
this wasn't even the size of the bathroom in Seattle.
Right.
And
it was
so-
look, like it's fine. It was, and I looked at him and I go, "It's 40 minutes from the house."
Did I tell you about the fucking horror convention I went to that they put it in like an abandoned movie theater /
No.
diner?
You might have mentioned it on the podcast
Yeah,
before.
dude. Fuck. This was so bad. Like wires were hanging out of the ceiling. Like the bathroom was flooding.
Oh, wow.
Cassandra Peterson plays Elvira.
Uh-huh.
Pulled up, took one look, drove the fuck off.
that's hilarious.
The lady, I can't remember her name right now, but she played the original Wednesday. Like halfway through the convention, she fucking bounced out.
She's like, "This is not worth
It was crazy. And it was like, and you know who it was? It was one of the fucking guys who was part of that fucking OJ deal that sent him to jail.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was one of the fucking producers of this show because that weekend OJ was there signing and it would turn into a big fucking thing.
Well, they just fit the horror genre.
Yeah, well, there were some fucking people who were fucking pissed, dude. They
Oh,
were
really?
like, I will not be in the same fucking building as this motherfucker, and just fucking bounce. KFI was there, the news was there. And
Interesting.
Shit. It was fucking wild. It was,
Was
called
it after he got acquitted?
Yeah,
it had to have been,
yeah. It was before he got
Sent to
the
jail.
Vegas thing.
Oh, okay.
Because one of the guys he held up, the
Yeah.
memorabilia, was one of the guys from this thing. When that was going on, I said, I fucking know that dude. I fucking know that guy. He's a fucking scumbag, dude.
You're like, I went to that shitty convention he ran.
OJ should have shot him or stabbed him in the. He's a fucking scumbag, dude. Oh, it was garbage, dude. It was the worst.
This was not at that level. Like,
No.
It was fine. It just
Yeah.
was like, I literally looked at him at one point. I'm all, we are in Chasing Amy right now. Like, I'm waiting for
Right.
like the guy across from us has White Hate and Coon.
Right.
We got the
Well,
pizza guy
people
over
always
here.
talk about like the fucking good old days of fucking con and this and that. And there was a time. I said, but I can fucking tell you a time when San Diego looked nothing like what you
Absolutely.
fucking know today. I mean, when I went to my first one in like 86, 87, dude, it was literally just fucking tables with fucking boxes on them.
Yep.
There was nothing special going on. And honestly, at the time, you go through this, and there were some movie stuff there. Like I had some Ghostbusters 2 and some Lost Boys stuff. But I'm like, well, I could go to any comic book shop and get this shit.
Kind of, yeah. And I mean, it's
I mean,
like,
they were selling the same X-Men there that fucking Players, my local place, was selling. I mean, you
Right.
might find one or two here
My
or
God,
there.
Players.
Okay, cool. But
If-
I have a fucking
yeah.
shop.
If I
you know?
had to rate this like on the levels, this is definitely the smallest.
Easily.
Easily.
Well,
the
Chris
smallest
told
thing
me
we've ever
that he
done.
was going to go ahead and do the Pacoima Comic Con, and you could do the Pacoima Playhouse next door and do your version of Hansel and Gretel.
Thank you. My Hansel and Gretel Eat Right that my child did.
Yes.
That was called Eat Right.
So my son was the star, if you would. He was
No.
closest to the microphone.
No, the Milts was the fucking star of the production.
This little shit doesn't want, like, you ask him to do it and he's like, no, I'm good. Like, he does not perform on command. He's not interested. Now, if you're like, I will give you pie if you would do this, he understands
There you
supply
go.
and demand.
All
Like,
right, all right.
But he's like, I'm not a monkey. I do not perform on command. But no, so he got cast in this school play of Hansel and Gretel. At first, I was like, dude, that's pretty, like, I like that story. That's like with the witch, and they throw her ass in the oven, and then they escape, It's like children being kidnapped. And, like,
And he said, "No, Dad."
no. So I get the script, and I'm like, we're going through the lines. I'm like, what is this bullshit? And then there's a video that we had to watch with him because it had like the choreography in it, which there was a lot of that. But it was they took the
What
hand.
was it like? 3 steps to the right.
It wasn't even
3
that, dude.
steps
These,
to the left,
these children were not
clap,
allowed
clap,
to move.
clap.
It was a lot of arm motions.
Right, right.
Like basically the choreography was like, okay, like touchdown, thumbs at yourself, arms at the side, thumbs at yourself, touchdown. It was like.
Right.
Yeah, so they basically stripped it of all the good.
Yeah.
And it became a story of two children who don't want to listen to their parents, so they go and wander through the forest, and then they come across a house made of candy, and the witches convince them not to eat the candy, and then it's over. Like,
Thank God. Bravo. Let's go get pizza. We're out of here.
Yeah.
So wait, the witches didn't even try to get them to eat the candy?
Nope.
And maybe a fairy godmother shows up and says, don't eat that?
No plot twist. No plot twist.
No.
Literally, it's everybody going, hey, kids, eat right. And then in the middle, they're like, let's sing a song about composting.
Oh man.
And I looked at my wife and I was like, what are we watching? She's like, they're 5. And I'm like,
Dude, one of mine right now, dude, he wants to be in a talent show and he wants to fucking sing Guns N' Roses fucking Welcome to the Jungle. This is his fucking, he doesn't want to lip sync it. He wants to fucking sing it, dude.
Wow.
I can only assume this is Vincent.
Yes.
I can only assume.
Oh, that hair, my beautiful blonde hair. Look at me. Look at this. Long blonde hair, you know. Yeah.
No, my boy was like, he was down with all the choreography and everything else that went along with it. He knew all his music. I knew all his lines. And he got the one solo line about thank you for coming to the show. And the kid draws. I'll give him that. Like, he drew more than my last show drew.
He's got to draw.
It's Kid Factor, dude.
Now, he had, friends and family and all. We must have had 30 people out of the 150 people that were there. 30 of them came to see him, including non-family members, which is even the best part.
It was funny, dude. Like we were when Sydney graduated high school, we were like one of the reasons they don't let, or that you have to have tickets now.
Because you're like 95 people showed up.
It was like this fucking sea of darkness.
It looked like Bats Day came to the graduation, right?
Dude, it was just dark and fucking. Everybody's like, oh god.
Was it the goth day?
They were fucking
Bats Day.
They were
tripping,
tripping, dude. Yeah.
I know goth. I don't know that shit.
Oh, you're so old. All right, I know. What are goggles for? Says Chris.
He took your spot now.
There you go. I have moved up.
Yeah, you're all right now.
God damn it.
All right, so so I posted a review online on my Facebook page about the Hansel and Gretel Eat Right, and I only gave it 2 out of 5 stars, and then I was chastised by my wife for.
I saw her post something, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch this because I think he's in trouble right now. I posted the fucking scene from Addams Family when they were fucking
the blood,
shooting blood all over the place during fucking Hamlet.
See, I can support that.
Right?
Like,
I would have been like, brother.
Exactly.
Look, don't get me wrong. It was great watching my kid and the other kids sit there and sing songs at 5 and 6. Like, that's what. And my kid, like, he lost all his teeth. Like, he's got no front teeth right now. And he had this one hanger on, Steve. Like, he lost his one front tooth, and I started calling him Toothless Joe the hobo.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not a Toothless Joe. Like, he gets all, like, rage. He's like, don't call me that. But this other tooth was like, I was like, uh-oh, it's starting to turn. Like, we're going to lose that one now, too. But then it went crooked. It was like, but it wasn't ready to come out. Like, one of the roots was still hanging on.
Yeah.
And I looked at him, like, when he smiled, I'm like, holy shit, dude, he smiles like Sloth from Goonies. So I started calling him Sloth.
Did you get in trouble?
No, he goes, who's that, Dad? I go, remember we watched the Goonies? He goes, no. And so I threw it in, and we were watching it. And I'm all, that's Sloth. And he's like, I'm not Sloth. And I was all, hey, you guys. So, but then he was eating a double from In-N-Out because he eats like my wife. He just is like a fucking dude. I came downstairs this morning. I shit you not. He usually eats breakfast in the small bowls of cereal.
Yeah.
He got the big bowl and piled the goddamn Frosted Flakes, not Frosted Flakes, the squares.
Cinnamon Crunch.
No, we don't buy that sugary bullshit.
Checks.
No. Like, like the ones that are like frosted on one side and the wheat,
Frosted wheat.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
you feed your kid that shit?
That's like old people cereal,
Right?
man.
Man, I'm on him to shit properly, dude. He's got to have his fiber, right? But he poured the biggest bowl of this that you have ever seen in your life. Like, if the bowl was, say, maybe like 3 inches deep, and like maybe as big around as your head, he had filled it up and then piled it up another like 3 inches on top of that, and then proceeded to eat the whole goddamn thing. And I told my wife, I'm not like, You can wipe his ass later.
Right.
Because he's going to fill the toilet up, you know?
There's a reckoning coming for you. Because at some point, he's going to want to go stay at one of his friends' houses overnight. And he's going to eat some of that sugary bullshit cereal that you've been holding out on.
Oh, no, man. Like, here's the thing. Like,
And he's going to look at you like, you motherfucker.
You know what I tell him? Like when he was, because he's like, Dad, I only want to eat like this, and I'm like, you want to be fat like your dad? No, now get your ass outside and run laps. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, look, weight is always a problem in my family, which is why I married my wife, because we're gonna breed that shit out of here,
Right,
you know?
right.
Like I'm gonna Darwin my son into better looks, like. She's thin, she's got a good metabolism, and he could have my stunning hair, and we're good, you know? He's going to be like Ricardo fucking Montalban. Like this is some Star Trek 2 bullshit right here. I feel like Chris is not on the podcast tonight.
I am on the podcast. I am contributing a lot. You just keep talking about stuff that... I am totally here. I'm just kind of multitasking.
Well, let's talk real quick before we get to Deadpool, because I don't want to spoil too much.
I'm waiting for that.
Let's talk some Walking Dead real quick.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm out of the loop, dude. I'm so out. It's just
there ain't much to
No,
know.
I'm not saying like first off, Fear the Walking Dead's been great this season, and I know I keep saying that, but it's been really good this season.
Well, I know. Okay, on Walking Dead, we're talking about
Andrew Lincoln's leaving the show.
Harry's, yeah.
So
and Lauren Cohen.
And Lauren Cohen's leaving the show too.
And what did I say? What have I said about this fucking show? If he leaves, Daryl leaves.
Well, Daryl apparently is going to be your new. Daryl and Michonne are going to be the new anchors.
Yeah.
I don't feel it.
I don't.
No, they can't carry this show.
You know what? Listen, man. I still haven't seen the season finale. That's like telling me a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've been on board with this show since before the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a fan of the comic. I turned Ron onto the comic.
Every year you go and you do the photo op.
It was my thing to do the photo op at Comic-Con, and I'm just kind of like, man, this is fucking run its course.
Almost,
run its fucking course.
Now, with that being said, you really should watch this season of Fear the Walking Dead.
I mean,
it's been really good.
Are we gonna encounter another group that we're in conflict with?
Right.
Holy fuck!
I mean, that's the whole show at this,
man.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same.
We're caught in a loop.
Thing.
We're caught in a loop for sure.
But what else is there to do?
Right.
I mean,
I should watch this season.
I mean, at this point, you're like, well, you know, who cares if you were finger banging Mary Jane Rottencrotch or pink pretty panties? The dead walk the earth now. I mean, that's not a story anymore.
Right.
You know, I mean,
can I just give you a setup for something they did really bitching on Fear the Walking Dead?
Give me something.
So they the Vultures, because we've been doing flashbacks.
Ooh, I like that name.
Yes, the Vultures.
Kind of cool.
So the Vultures have shown up and they've decided that they're gonna take what these people have, the Fear the Walking Dead people. So they and you see them throughout. They've been setting up like they capture the zombies in places. You know, they're like, okay, we lead them all in somewhere, and then we lock the door behind them, and then we put a big thing up says how many zombies are in here, and we just leave, and then they're stuck inside, but we know they're in there, and we won't go back in there essentially. So they decide like, well, we want this place, like we want what they have, so they go and they gather up all the fucking zombies that they've left in like minivans and U-Hauls and shit, or like minivans, but like U-Hauls. They fucking drive up. And as they're getting, they drop the loader, and as they're getting out, they're fucking dumping oil on them.
Okay.
And then they light a fire right in front of the gates. The zombies all walk right into the fire and fucking burn the walls down.
No shit.
Like in the so you see them walk in the fire and it cuts, and then like we go back, and then the end of this last week's episode, they drive into the stadium where all the Fear the Walking Dead people had been living, and there's a sea of burnt zombies in there that are fucking charred and like start hitting on the side. It was dude, this season's been really good. Like I am at the point now where I hate to say this, but I'm enjoying Fear the Walking Dead more than I am enjoying Walking Dead.
Holy shit. And this is being recorded.
Dude, I'm actually looking forward to Sunday night, because I was like, this season has been that good, and I know they're killing off. I know they already killed off one of the main characters, and I know they're going to kill the mom off too.
I can't believe you guys aren't watching the Westworld.
I'm on to Westworld. What are you talking about? I've been on the Westworld since the first season.
Okay.
But Steve doesn't watch it, so we don't talk about it on the show.
Well, I mean, talk away. I mean,
Yeah, but
That's
it's
the
like-
fucking greatest show on TV right now.
Have input on it.
That's the new
But-
Game of Thrones, dude.
Absolutely,
Oh, really?
absolutely.
Wow. All right.
Like you should go back and
I gotta find time. It's just it's a time thing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, yeah, there's only so much media you can consume, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point now where I'm like, I watch maybe about 4 or 5 hours of TV a week, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
and then when I do, I'm just watching fucking these guys fucking shoot ducks. And geese. You know, I'm like,
are you
oh,
watching the Hunting Channel or
outdoor channel a lot? You know, like, oh, that motherfucker just killed 3 fucking geese like nothing.
that? And you're watching Teen Titans Go, right?
Oh, get me fucking going on that one, dude.
Oh, I actually enjoyed the Teen Titans Go.
You know what? It is pretty
It's
good,
funny,
but when you
dude.
see the same fucking episode like 6 fucking times,
Of
you're like,
course, of course.
and when your son's like, fucking the night begins to shine from the backseat of the car, you're like, Daddy, play the song. You're like, oh, fuck off with your stupid music.
we've been so for Christmas I got Ronald Andrew the Return of the Jedi record, like to complete his 70s record collection of Star Wars stuff, or early 80s, and so now he's decided Return of the Jedi is his favorite of the Star Wars movies.
Oh, yeah.
Which it's
Teddy bears.
But his old favorite was Phantom Menace. So
Oh, well, that's a step in the right direction.
not really. It's about the same. It's
I don't know. At least you got Han and Leia and Luke in that.
yeah. Do I though? It's not really Han anymore. He's like Pussy Han, where he's like pussy whipped Han. She's like, I love you, and he's like, I love you, and she's like, I know, and I'm like, it's not Han Solo anymore. You know, Carbonite fucked his brain up. Like
bit,
I think
right?
that's what happened with Harrison Ford. I think he was fine until they shot that Carbonite scene, and then they shot all that gas into him, and then it
Yeah.
made him an asshole, just like right there.
Something happened.
You know,
Had to have been that.
I
Because,
think so.
this is kind of like old school. I mean, effects. They really almost killed you.
Absolutely,
They
just set
actually
his ass
froze him, and he was in that carbonite until they released him.
Which transitions me to Deadpool. So Deadpool 2, in like the
So
opening
fucking
shot,
good.
there's this great moment, Steve. And by the way, it's I just saw this last night. Chris and I both love it. But there's a great shot where Deadpool is like doing his voiceover and he's killing people left and right. And he goes, "Look, you see that guy? That guy's on fire. That's not CGI or some bullshit like that." And the dude's like, "Oh!" like running through the shot
In slow-mo.
In slow mo, he's like, "We set his ass on fire," which totally made me think of you, Steve. So
Awesome.
and especially
Practical effects.
well, except that in this, once the Juggernaut shows up in the film,
Yeah, and they even make fun of it, like, oh, look, a big CGI battle.
between him and Colossus, he's like, ooh. So we'll do as short as spoilery free Deadpool review as we can, and then when Steve finally sees it, we'll have a.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't know, dude.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Only because I know you are going to really enjoy it.
It's a comedy, and I think with comedy, the element of surprise is a big part of it.
Right.
And I think if I were to spoil, I can tell you plot points, and I don't think it spoils the movie.
Right. You can't tell them about the X-Force.
No, but like once the X-Force shows up, like it is the fucking best part of the movie, and for me to sit here and spoil it for you would ruin your joy in a way that I cannot explain.
Okay. All
So,
right.
but I will
I'll take your word for it.
I will say this: I was a little underwhelmed by Cable. That's all.
Uh-huh.
And I think part of it was Josh Brolin was so good as Thanos, and that was
Yeah.
such a well-developed character that when Cable shows up, I was like, it's good, but it's
Yeah.
like Thanos has raised the bar, you know.
Uh-huh.
And
I didn't feel that. I mean, I didn't feel like he was some amazing character, but I don't know that it was a comparison to Thanos that, you know.
well, but here's the thing: I think Domino is the breakout character in this
Absolutely.
movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like she is phenomenal.
Yeah.
and it's like him and her arguing. Like there's this great chase sequence where he's like, "Luck is not a superpower," and she's like, "Yes, it is." And so they're literally arguing over calm, and he goes, "Let's just say it's not," and she's like, "It is," and he's like, "How about no?" And while they're having this argument, she's having all of these lucky things happen that
Right.
are the most insane, and,
Right.
and it's like right at the end, he's like, "Use your luck powers to save us all." For me though, this movie is missing Francis. Like it's missing a good, solid bad guy from the first movie.
I think it's not that simple though. And
It's
this
not
is where
that film. Like that's the problem.
I think that's
Is his
I love that about
ridiculously
this
hot
movie.
girlfriend back?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't like the way you said that, man.
You could probably spoil that. That's not a big thing.
Well, that's the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
She dies. They kill her at the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
But
Did they
she's
kill her?
throughout the film.
She's like...
She's Force Ghost.
She's Force Ghost for
in
the
like
rest
a
of the
bra.
No, there's no nudity in this
No.
one.
Fuck.
Like,
Yeah.
Marina Baccarin's still hot.
She is smoking hot.
But well,
dude.
they do have a great moment where they've decided like she gives him her IUD and like we're gonna have a baby, and he goes, "Well, you grab the strap on and let's make it happen." And she's like, "I don't think that's how it happens, but
we
we'll
can give it a shot."
shot."
No, and for me, it was like right off the top, we kill her off, and it's like, God damn, like
Right.
where is this going?
Well, and it's really funny because his opening monologue is basically like, "Thanks, Wolverine.
Yeah.
Thanks for stealing my R rating. Now you have to make and going dark. Well, guess what, motherfucker? We're gonna go darker than you."
I'm dying in my movie too. And then, but for me, they do the James Bond sequence
Oh my
in the
God.
beginning. That's funny as fuck because you just take the character and make it James Bond.
It's the Deadpool opening credits, like from
Right.
the previous
Oh,
one.
okay.
But
Yeah.
they do James Bond
It's
with Deadpool.
It's like totally dead on.
Yeah.
It's exactly like you would see in a James Bond opening.
Right.
And there are bits upon of like, but I don't want to spoil any of
Right,
it because
right.
it's so much. There's some great sight gags that are like
Yeah.
gold.
All right.
The X-Force stuff is gold. Now we can talk about Negasonic Teenage Warhead's little
Yeah.
girlfriend. So she's got a lesbian girlfriend.
No.
Who's yeah, right?
No.
No,
That's
but
crazy.
she's Yuri.
Yukio.
Yukio. So he goes, she's like, "Oh, this is my girlfriend Yukio." And she's like, "Oh, hi Deadpool, you seem nice." And he's all, "Hi Yukio." And she's
Like,
all,
every time they see each
she
other.
shows up, she's all, "Hi Deadpool." And he's like, no matter what's happening, he's all, "Hi Yukio."
It's so funny, dude.
So it becomes this reoccurring bit. Like they're in the middle of a fight and she
Yeah.
shows up and she's all, "Hi Deadpool." And it's like right in the middle of the action, he's all, "Hi Yukio." And then they're like kicking ass again. It's like fucking great. Like,
Yeah, and they even and I was reading that this is the first openly gay characters in the superhero movies, and they even play into that, like where she first shows up. This is my girlfriend, and he starts to say something, and she gives him shit about being whatever being
and yeah, she's all,
intolerant.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's like, I just can't believe anybody would want to be with you,
But then they do they pull out all these great bits because it's all these secondary characters
Right.
from the Marvel universe, and so one of them is Black Tom Cassidy, who is I don't know if you're familiar with the character, but he's like I'm Black Tom Cassidy, and he's got like dreadlocks, and he's like, "Do you know what my power is?" And he's all, "Cultural appropriation." And then
they do all kinds
They
of
do this
like
whole bit-
racial jokes
Yeah, where
with Cable the whole
he kicks
time.
back-
Ah,
later.
thank God.
But
I
he-
can't wait to see
But he
it.
kicks back later and he goes, "I don't know about that Cable guy. I think he's really racist. He killed that black guy." He's a Black Tom Cassidy's a white guy. It's so great. But he's like, but he keeps bringing it up. He's like, "That wasn't right. You killed Black Tom."
It's so funny, dude.
All right.
So
man,
funny.
Like, and that does. And here's the best part. That spoils nothing.
Nothing.
What
And
we
you know
just
what,
mentioned.
dude? And call me what you want, but that kind of humor makes me laugh. I like Blazing Saddles, and I start to think to myself, movies like that just can't be made anymore.
I think Deadpool is close as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like, but this movie, here's the thing that Chris and I both agree on. It's not as funny as the first one. Like, it's funny.
I don't know if that's
Hey,
what I
man,
say, though.
it's like anything. Try to make that second album.
Exactly.
You know?
And here's the thing. With that first movie, we did not expect what we got.
No.
Nobody expected to see that shit.
Well,
Even readers
the
of
way they
Deadpool.
filmed it was so different than what we were
Right,
really so
right.
used to seeing.
So now as we go into this one, they've set up a style.
yeah,
But I also think the first one was brilliantly framed around that one action piece, around the freeway sequence. So
Right.
you kept coming back to it as a touchstone until a certain point in the movie you move past it.
Yeah.
So it gave you like
But you got that with this as well. You got that with the opening.
sure, but it wasn't the same.
No,
Like
of course it's not the same.
and it's not gonna be the same, but it was like the stuff that worked phenomenally well.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think the lack of a really strong villain sort of hurt the movie.
Right.
Like Juggernaut was fine, but Juggernaut was not.
He wasn't the villain.
He
He was a
wasn't-
henchman.
he
well,
wasn't.
you know what? They always fucking have a problem with in these fucking superhero movies. Is like, let's fucking start trying to introduce as many characters into
Yeah.
them as we can
Right.
now. Where now you're just kind of like, losing the movie, and it's just
We got a lot of new characters
Yeah.
for a good while.
Yeah, it's great though. Like what they do with them, like they do. It's like such a great like sort of meta look at these superhero movies, and they do everything you're supposed to do in a sequel, which is like you introduce all these sort of outlandish new characters with new
Right.
powers, but the way they use them is so fucking hilarious that it like I'm sold. Like the X-Force stuff is great, and it all works, you know. And there's some really fun cameos in the film, including the two rednecks are Matt Damon and
Get the.
See?
No, it was
I
not.
told you I caught everything.
What?
Come on, what's the dude from Firefly who played
Philly?
Wash?
Oh, no
Alan
way.
Tudyk. So
Hold on,
they,
I'm looking this
They
shit
do a
up.
total homage to Terminator with Cable. Cable time travels, and there's these two redneck guys sitting on the back of a truck, and it's Matt Damon and Alan Tudyk in heavy prosthetics, and Cable basically kills them and takes their truck, like right out of Terminator.
Okay.
And I was like, and that's what it's supposed to be. But it's like
Yeah.
they're having this conversation. It's like, yeah, man. And then I bent her over and it was great.
Man, I did not notice that's who that was.
Absolutely. I caught
Are
Alan
you
Tudyk right away.
fucking kidding me?
But then I was like looking up, like, that was Matt Damon. God damn it.
Yeah.
So, but there's.
See, Matt Damon's been doing a lot of that shit because he just did it in Thor too.
Fucking Thor Ragnarok. You know that's on Netflix now.
I actually caught up, I think, on all the Marvel movies right now.
Did you watch Thor
I've seen
Ragnarok?
Thor Ragnarok.
What'd you think, dude?
Loved it, dude. To me, it was like an issue of Heavy Metal magazine.
Yes,
came to
yes.
life. And if we're talking about, which we haven't done, second chance movies in a long time, if you guys out there have not seen the original animated Heavy Metal movie, okay, from the 81, all right, check this fucking piece of fucking artwork out, dude. You will love it. This was so ahead of its fucking time. You look at it now, and the fucking artwork is kind of fucking primitive.
Well, it's all hand drawn though.
It is hand drawn, but fuck, man, it stars. John Candy is the voice in it, is the main character.
That's right,
I mean,
it
you've
is,
got,
isn't
You've got
it?
fucking robots, fucking and doing coke, and they're
Right.
fucking disintegrating people. I mean, this when I saw Ragnarok, I was like, this is fucking. They were reading Heavy Metal magazine.
Like Jeff Goldblum and his.
Oh my
his
god,
death
I
stick,
could have a fucking movie of just him
right?
melting people with the melty stick.
Are you kind of sad that you missed it now?
In the theater, yeah.
It's
yeah,
really
I wish
fun,
I would
dude.
have seen it on the big screen.
It's really fun,
It was
dude.
really fucking good. One of my boys, Vincent, has grown his hair long, is still just talking about why'd they cut his hair?
Right.
Why'd they cut his hair? I don't understand why they cut his hair. Does somebody want to tell me why they cut his hair? That's all he could fucking talk about was his hair. He's like, I'm not with this.
I love that. I love that. And then the Jeff Goldblum ship is like my absolute, like when
Oh
it's
my
like,
God,
it's
dude.
my birthday. Like that
Yes.
whole bit. And like, he's like, it was
Don't
for
touch
the,
anything.
This is for the orgies in the back.
Oh my god, it was so fucking funny, man.
And then when
Great
Valkyrie
movie.
crashes the ship and comes out and the fireworks are going off behind her and they're doing the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Like everything about that movie, like, works.
That
Fucking
was
works.
that was awesome. Doctor Strange was
Good movie,
pretty
right?
good. Yeah,
It was,
my
it was
wife
good.
Jen has like hands down. It's her favorite Marvel movie
Nice,
right now.
man.
She really loved it, dude.
Really?
She loves all that mysticism stuff, dude.
Yeah.
She's all about all that.
See, I
So,
went back recently because we brought it up earlier, and I rewatched Black Panther, and I still liked it, but I really loved Claw. I realized like I loved Andy Serkis in that. Like he's the first Marvel villain to me that was having fun.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this guy gets it. Like I like this guy, and then
Right.
I realized after I got done watching, I'm like, I don't like. I loved all the villains in this film. Like the villains made this movie work for me. And like the Black Panther, it's kind of boring, but it's like the rest of it. I was like, but like Doctor Strange, I did not like the villains as much
No.
in that. Like that one was one where it was
yeah,
like,
I
I'm
wasn't.
all,
Yeah, the villains in it, I was not too terribly. Like,
But all the
wow.
Inception stuff was pretty rad, and I
Yeah.
liked all of the
was
astral
pretty cool.
projection
There
and
were
like.
moments where that shit got a little like Ant-Man weird to me.
Well, and then they
like,
fought
come on,
they
we
fought
really
the
need this
master
acid trip.
control unit at the end, which was like
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
when they and I get Dormammu, I get it, it's fine. I just was like, the graphics could be a little better, but that's just me. I'm just
Yeah,
that way.
yeah,
but
they were a little.
I'm all.
very good.
I've seen Tron. I remember this.
right.
I'm in.
All right. Well, let's get to the end of this here, you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this brand new episode of the Nerdlife Crisis podcast.
Once Steve sees Deadpool, we'll do a spoilery.
I will see Deadpool within the next couple of days. So
Cool.
The next show we'll do.
Let me know, dude. I'm almost off.
I'll go again, dude. Like, I'm in.
Like twice is not enough. I was telling this guy, I watched it again, and there were a ton of things that I missed the
He
first time.
talks so goddamn fast, it's hard to keep up
Really
sometimes.
does.
Like, at certain points, I will be honest with this. I went in a theater where I was me and like 7 other people, and I miss, like, comedies are like, you know, it's contagious. I want to be around other people that are laughing as well. But I was the only one laughing openly in the theater. And I was like guffawing at times because it was like,
I'm going to have to look that one up.
what, a guffaw?
Yeah.
You're like, ha! Like it's a guffaw.
I can barely laugh.
Like you're guffawing right now.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I didn't know that's what I was doing.
So it's like a nice, good, big, deep laugh. You know, it's not a chortle, like you know, it's more of a larger laugh. But anyways, yeah, man, I'm in. You let me know, and we'll bring the listeners with us too.
We'll figure something.
We'll
out.
live stream it on the on the Facebook page. We still got to do our Gods of Egypt.
Oh my
Steve
God!
watching Gods of Egypt.
Listen.
I never.
I caught
watched
a few minutes of that
That's
on
terrible.
fucking cable, and holy shit, dude, that was fucking bad. Had we spent fucking American dollars to go see that, dude, I would have been upset.
Well, we would have been even for Immortals.
God. I still hear about that movie, not just from you.
Oh man, 'cause
Other people.
You got
remind
us
me of
all
that one,
together
dude.
and had Chipotle and made us watch that in 3D, no less. Steve, you made us watch it in 3D.
They weren't offering a better time in non-3D. Goddammit,
So-
they offered one time.
I paid a premium to see one of the worst movies I've ever
God
seen.
damn, dude.
You ain't lying, dude. I couldn't do it.
Bro, we walked out of the theater, dude. Fucking my friend's old lady's like, "You brought us to that."
Right?
Fuck. I'm sorry.
All right, so let's wrap it up right there. I'm the Droid Liberation Front.
I am fuck your Instagram account.
I'm Baby Legs.
And we hope you guys are having a nerd life crisis. Music for the Nerd Life Crisis podcast is provided by Big Papa and the TCB. All music available at bptcb.com or at iTunes. The Nerd Life Crisis is recorded at the Inland Blue Studios. Make sure to subscribe to the Nerd Life Crisis at iTunes and like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Nerd Life Crisis.